Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here for this reunion. Before I start my presentation, I would like to thank Paula for organizing this event for us, and I would like to tell her that I will always remember her warm welcome and hospitality. Also, I would like to thank Alexandru for being our coordinator and for working so hard for this project to support us. We are very happy to tell you that we managed to finish all the work. We have produced 15 lessons, 15 presentations, both in English and Greek. And also we have prepared 7 videos. I would like to thank my colleagues, my team, for working very hard, especially my colleagues who are here with me in this trip. Before I start, I will explain to you the additional work we've done for this project. We have been asked by our Ministry of Education to link our project with the Cyprus EU presidency, because on the 1st of July, Cyprus will take the EU presidency. So we have been asked to link our project, the Architeaching project, and to promote to our students the EU presidency. They wanted us to basically take the opportunity of doing this European project, and through this project just to promote the EU presidency. So at the beginning it was a bit difficult, but then we found the way to link our project with Cyprus EU presidency. Basically, we thought of showing to our students that Cyprus has always been a part of Europe, and that in Cyprus, European people conquered Cyprus in order to keep Cyprus in Europe. So for this, this is our time schedule. We started this for planning our project. We have been through our history in order to find out who came to Cyprus, and we wanted to find evidence of the people who came to Cyprus. So we had to find what they built, where they lived. We have to find the cities we built. So we traveled back in time. We went back to 8,000 years BC until today, and we studied our history, and we found some magnificent buildings and monuments that from the Neolithic period. We've been to Bronze Age, and then we've been to Archaic Classical period, to Geometric period, Hellenistic period, Roman period in Cyprus, Byzantine period. We went to Richard the Lionheart and the Knight of Templars, the Frankish. We went through the Venetian period, the British rule. We also had the Ottoman occupation of Cyprus, and we have the Turkish invasion, 1974. We went all the way to EU membership, and on the 1st of July, Cyprus will lead the EU presidency, and we have this building in Brussels. So our history shows that through the time, many conquerors came to Cyprus, and they fought and they lost their lives in order for Cyprus to stay in Europe, because Cyprus is between Europe and Asia and Africa. To do that, we actually organized some trips with our students, and I'll show you later one trip we organized with a class of students. We visited Kurion, which is an ancient city. We traveled 1 hour by bus, but we have been 3,000 years back in time. So we visited that ancient city that it was actually built in 1200 BC by the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, those people who fought in Troy in the war. They returned to their country, but for some reason they decided not to leave. We don't know why they decided not to stay in Greece. They decided to come to Cyprus. So the army generals, they took their army and their ships, you know, they had the navy. So they went to Greece, and for some reason, something happened, we don't know. They came to Cyprus. So they arrived in Cyprus and they built an ancient city in Kurion. And around 33 BC, the Romans arrived in the island and they conquered the island, and they built a new city on top of that ancient city. It was destroyed by an earthquake in those times. So the Romans built a Roman city. So we visited that Roman city with our students to study the place and see the evidence of the Roman period in Cyprus. And we've seen some excellent buildings. We've seen how the Romans used to build the cities. We used to believe that, sometimes we believe that those people, they were, you know, they're living back in time, they were primitive, but they were extraordinary people because they knew how to solve problems. We've seen the Roman paths, they knew how to, they had sewage system, they had running water in the city. So I'd like to show you this movie later. We created some small documentary for this. But through this project, we had the opportunity to learn a lot about our history, who we are. And because we are an island, that many people came in the history, in the past. So, we managed to complete, can I go back? Back. Do you have a scroll button? Oh, this one. Okay. As I mentioned before, we managed to finish all the modules, and we also created some 3D graphics using Google SketchUp. I'll show you later. We did literature and architecture. I'll just mention, and I'll show you some video as well. We study about modern Greek literature and architecture. My colleague Teresa did this lesson. I'll show you some video of the lesson we have prepared. We have sound.
Καλημέρα. Το μάθημα μας σήμερα από ένα ναό, το οποίο θα δείτε για να τον αναγνωρίσετε. Πώς θα τον αναγνωρίσετε? Θα μπείτε σε μια μηχανή αναζήτησης πληροφοριών και θα βρείτε τις ζητούμενες πληροφορίες που θα σας γράψουν στον πίνακα. Έτσι.
We also learn how to do documentaries. My colleague Savas prepared this video for you, so he learned how to edit video, put video together, and create some excellent video presentation. This is to show you how we do lessons. We use projectors, video projectors. We also have internet access to this class. This is the language. This is the class for languages, and we have internet access, and we teach English and French in this class. Okay, this is 20 minutes video. I will not go through all the video, just for you to have some idea. We also did some other lessons about literature and architecture. For science and architecture, we have prepared some lessons about the architecture of gardens, traditional construction material, and geometry of architecture and theory applications. We produce videos for every lesson. I'll show you first the video for the biology lesson, the architecture of gardens. We try to show to our students how important is the garden for the house, and also in Cyprus, because we have a lot of sun, we plant trees in such a way so that during the summer we have shade, and during the winter we have the sun. We plant trees that the leaves they fall during the winter to have the sun. And we had our students creating gardens. You know, we brought them some plants, and then we asked them to build the garden. So this is our biology classroom, and if I can go forward, because again it's 20 minutes video. I'm not sure if I can do that. I think so.
Better stop it and then after.
Yeah.
Okay. No. This video?
Yes. Let's continue. Okay. Sorry about the problem. We also show to our students how Cypriots used to build their houses using traditional material. This is our chemistry teacher.
Η σημερινή μέρα είναι κάπως διαφορετική. Θα έχουμε μια παρουσίαση, μια μελέτη, ένα project.
Again, we use video projectors in the labs.
Τα παραδοσιακά οικονομικά υλικά.
And we show to our students how they used to build bricks using mud and straw and water, and they used to dry these bricks under the sun.
Να γνωρίσουμε και να μάθουμε ποια είναι αυτά τα παραδοσιακά οικονομικά υλικά. Να μάθουμε πώς.
Sorry. We also, I'll go to the next lesson because we have a lot to show you about the Curion. So, third lesson was about geometry and architecture. Again, we show to our students how important are maths for architecture and how people used to basically apply maths to build houses. This is our mathematics teacher. We have explained to our students how we use mathematics to create an arc and to build curves.
Και παίρνουμε εμείς τις αποστάσεις. Το α γάμμα θα είναι ίσον τότε με το β γάμμα. Έτσι έχουμε το συμμετρικό του σημείου α. Το β είναι το συμμετρικό του σημείου α. Θέλω τώρα να πείτε πώς θα σχηματίσω εγώ εκείνη την κάθετο, με ποιο νόμο γεωμετρία, με ποιο γεωμετρικό γάμμα.
And again, it's 20 minutes. I don't know if I have time to show you.
Yes, we can. So we still have half an hour.
Okay.
If you want, you choose.
These are the techniques we use to teach our students. We use both PowerPoint presentation, but at the same time we write on the board. Anyway, I will move forward and show you the next presentation. History of national architecture. We prepared some work for Neolithic era in Cyprus. We went back to 8,000 years BC. We studied the first village that it was built there by some people who arrived in the island. And then we made some presentation for the Roman era in Cyprus. This presentation, I'll show you the presentation, was prepared by my colleague Teresa, who is here. And we have explained to our students about the Roman era in Cyprus and the Roman architecture. We have explained to them when the Romans arrived in Cyprus and they built their cities around the island. They used to control the island because it was very important strategic position for them. And they built gymnasiums, they built gymnasiums for spiritual exercise for the young people. We can find this in Salamis, which is now an occupied area by Turks. There is some magnificent buildings and city there. We show them the Curion, the place we have been. We actually did the lesson and then we took them there to see actually the place and get the feeling of this place. This is the stadium that it was for 7,000 people, this stadium. There are ruins, of course, because it has been destroyed by an earthquake. The Romans built theaters as well. This is the theater in Soli. Again, this is in occupied area, very big theater. This is the Curion theater where we have been, and we actually made some small play by our students. We had one student to talk and say something, and we basically had the acoustics, perfect acoustics. I mean, you whisper something and you can hear it on the top of the theater. And that theater was for 3,000 people. It had to be destroyed, it has been rebuilt, and the Greeks started it when they arrived, but the Romans extended it, and it could fit 3,000 people. And you have the sea view. This city was built on the top of the hill. Perfect location, and you can see the sea underneath. So we also explained to them about the temples the Romans built in Cyprus, in Paphos, in Limassol, in Salamis, Kurion Amathus. They used to worship the Greek gods and the goddess of Aphrodite and Dionysos. This is again some temples, some architectural buildings. The god of the temple of Apollon. We explained to them about the mosaics. This is the residence. This is the place we actually been. We saw them the mosaic. This is the house of Eustolios. Eustolios was a Roman rich man who arrived in the town, this Curion, at the time where there was a crisis, economic crisis. And to support them, he decided to build a massive house for himself. So he employed people to build that massive house. We actually saw the house. And he gave them jobs, basically, to build that. And it's a magnificent place. It has everything, Roman paths, very big place. I'll try to show you this when you come to Cyprus. Maybe we can organize some trip for you if you're interested to see this ancient city. This is Theseus' residence in Paphos. And now I'll show you the video. I must say that the students like this a lot because they had the experience somehow. They visited the place, they studied. Of Stolios, the house that this rich Roman built. It was a very big house in those days. And this proves that the Romans had good engineering, and in architecture they were very good. They knew how to solve problems. They knew how to transfer water. They knew how to build sewer systems in those days. And that city had 20,000 people living in that city. So it was a big city. Problem in Cyprus, the Romans couldn't find marble because in Cyprus we don't have marble. So they decided to ship marble from Greece, Italy and Lebanon. So they created some magnificent buildings using marble columns. They built their temples, they built their forum, and also they needed marble to build the baths they have, and also it was for luxury, so they wanted to have marble. The whole city had underground sewer system, and they used to bring water for tens of kilometers away from the mountains. They used to carry water because this city is on the top of the hill. They used to carry water from the mountains using tubes. They knew how to build pipes with clay terracotta tubes. So the land around that city was very fertile, and they used to basically plant trees, vegetables around that city. And they used to prefer to build on the hills because in those days they had a problem with mosquitoes and disease, so they used to go high up and live. This is actually the theater. It's our student Theophanis. We asked him to tell us something, and so that we can test the acoustics of the theater. And there were some tourists as well on the top, some German tourists, and they liked it a lot, so they had the chance to see. So the students like it. We proved to them that what we told them in the lesson, it was true. That's how it works. So this is the forum, the area where they had their shops. Unfortunately, it has been destroyed by an earthquake, but if you go there, you will see all this evidence, these marble columns. And it was also when the Christians arrived to the island, that was the first city that they became Christians. So they built the basilica, they built a church in that area, and we saw the place that the church was built. We have explained to them that the white marble used to come from Greece and the black marble used to come from Lebanon. That was the area the basilica was built, and the first Christians they were allowed to practice their religion there. Actually, they turned to Christianity during that time. They used to baptize their people, and we've seen the place where people used to go to become Christians, Christian. But it's a beautiful place. I mean, the sea, the area around, the atmosphere, the sun. Although it was very cloudy when we've been there, it was a bit cold, but it was okay, more or less okay. On the other side of the hill is the necropolis they have. And they used to bury there. And going there and see this place, I mean, sometimes you wonder how they managed to do all these things, how they managed to carve this marble and create these columns and this. But they had engineering, they knew, they had tools, and they had skills. And we had also a tour guide, because we took special permission to film the area from, I think that these are the Roman paths. They knew about heat transfer, they knew about how to make these things. And also it was a place for the public where the people used to meet and talk and discuss these Roman public paths. Unfortunately, this city was destroyed by a big earthquake around 700 AD. It was destroyed completely, and then it was abandoned. They never tried to rebuild it again. But they had like a pool, like a swimming pool. That we may decide to visit this place if you're interested, and there is some nice restaurant we can eat on the sea front, because at the sea you can go swimming in the summer. It's a beautiful place. I hope the weather will be good in May. Usually it's good. Usually you can go swimming. We didn't have time to visit the gymnasium because we had to go and return to our school. There is also a gymnasium in this city. It was for 7,000 people for this gymnasium, and they used to do these horses ridings, you know, the Romans. So through this project we learned how to do documentaries. We study how to do documentaries in order to be able to prepare all these things. Salvas actually used to make the film with a camera, and then he edited the videos with another colleague, Fanula, who is not here with us. We also show some presentation to our students. We did some lesson about the Byzantine era in Cyprus. Again, Cyprus has been influenced by Byzantium. And this is a presentation by my colleague Teresa. We have explained to them how Cyprus was important. It was very important about Byzantine. So we show them some unique churches we have built in those days. We will arrange to visit some of these churches when you are coming to Cyprus. We have this Panagia Angeloptisti, very old church. We have the Bufavento Fort and lots of other different places, castles, churches. When you come to Cyprus, we will show you in Larnaca there is St. Lazarus Church. It's 1,000 years old, this church. It was built by the Byzantine Emperor Leo. And that was the place where they buried Lazarus, Jesus Christ follower. It was actually on that place. They built on top of that a church. So, I know you're tired, so I'll go through quickly.
No, you don't have to. Do it
Okay.
slowly.
Okay.
No problem.
About general history in architecture, we wanted to show our students some different architecture from the time of pre-Columbian civilization, Incas and Aztecas. So we have shown to our students how the Incas and Aztecas used to build their cities. These people, they were extraordinary people. They had great skills in building. They used to build their buildings using just stones, and they used to make the stones perfect so that they can fit one on top of the other. So we have presented to our students this technique, which was a unique technique. Even today, it's going to be very difficult for us to do this. Some people, they try, but they cannot get it so precise as the people in those days used to do their buildings. So that was a good chance for our students to learn different architectures these people they used to have. We show them about the Maya cities and the Maya pyramids. We explained to them about the pyramids and why they used to build pyramids. The Egyptians had pyramids, the Maya had pyramids. What was the benefit to build the pyramids? Maybe it was the only way to go up, high up, and the techniques they used to have. And also, we have explained to them that a pyramid, it was actually a mathematical modeling. It was not just a building. They used to have mathematics and calculations in order to be able to build that pyramid. Again, about the Roman architecture in general. And of course, we show them the Greek architecture. The Greeks used to build their buildings. And again, the Parthenonas and theaters. This is a lesson by my colleague Fanny. She was here. We explained to them about the symmetry, the harmony with nature, and the balance. Because again, this is a mathematical modeling. It was not just architecture and art and skills. It was a mathematical modeling. They used mathematics to build these buildings. They knew about mathematics. They have developed mathematics a lot, and then they did these buildings. They didn't start it from scratch, and we have explained to them how they used to build the Dorian order and the Ionian order, how they used to build and how they used to put this on top of one another, about the aesthetics. My colleague Fanny did this. We went through all the techniques they used to apply, and we also have a video for this. This is details. The Corinthian order. This is exactly how the people in Curion they used to build their columns and these. Okay, this is Greek architecture. I'll show you something from the video, from the lesson. why it has noise. My colleague Fanny. That was a small video introduction. Again, this is the way we do our lessons. We show them some videos, something to make them be interested for the subject. So this is one technique we use at school. We show them some video and then we ask them to tell us what they understood. So we try to involve them in the lesson and so that they're interested. I must tell you that we used 2 cameras to do that, and then we had to mix the videos together. That was a hard job, but our team did it. Now, I will have to move forward. So, I kept for last the music and architecture, then I'll show you the green graphics, which is very small. About music architecture, initially we didn't know what to do. What is the architecture of music? We didn't know what to do. So the teacher responsible for this lesson came to me and said to me, what am I supposed to do for this lesson? I said, I have no idea. That's the truth. And then she said to me, why do you not ask Alexandru to tell us? So I said, but Alexandru asked me and you to tell him about the architecture of music. So we have to find out. So we decided to present our traditional music. We have some traditional music that, seriously, I never thought from where it originated, this music. It's Cyprus traditional music, we will show you later. So, we studied how we have this traditional music. And then we found out that this from the time of Homer in Greece. It came from Greece, where they had this, they used language and they used to sing and they used to basically describe different stories and events that happened in the world. And they had some music instrument for the rhythm. So basically, they were saying stories and they had some music to support the rhythm when they were telling stories. So what we did, we explained to our students about the music instruments we use for traditional music, but also we found a group of people, local people, Cypriots, who play this traditional music and they sing. So we brought them to our school to tell us more about this traditional music. We brought them in the class and I'll show you the video. And they played some music, of course, and they sing some song. So, sorry, I wanted to show the presentation. Okay. So, that was the presentation. We have explained to them about Homer. and how they used to sing. We explained to them about Aphrodisia, where they used to celebrate and dance and sing. And then we show them some photos from people who sing and play music, traditional music, and the video. This goes back to the Greek era. So these are the people they actually explain to our students how do they play this traditional music. Sorry if I made you feel tired, but this is the last bit I would like to show you. I'm not sure if you ever listen to some traditional Cypriot music. You can find it on the internet, on the YouTube. Actually, people were not interested about traditional music. I mean, for many years we forgot about traditional music, but now they just started being interested in, because they are bored of this modern music, so they try going back and they're interested now. And in Cyprus we have TV programs about traditional music, so people are now more interested to learn. Unfortunately, I cannot go forward. I'll just show you a bit of music and until recently, maybe 10 years ago, we had traditional weddings in Cyprus. People used to get married using the traditional way, and they used to play traditional music as well. That was a fashion until 10 years ago. But now they like to get married in a hotel using a modern, way. So we have abandoned these traditional weddings. This instrument is called lauto. It's Cypriot traditional instrument. I must tell you that the government now is interested for people to keep this tradition. So there is some funding, and also from the EU. So we want the people to learn how to play these instruments and how to sing. Again, he's saying some story. He sings, but he's saying some story. Voilà. But the important thing, this is 3,000 years old music. This is very old. This is the important thing. So it's the same thing, you know. Yeah. Okay. And now I will show you the last part. Hopefully I will finish this presentation, this long presentation. This is our 3D graphics team. We have a team of students doing with just graphics. We taught them to create. First, we taught them how to create 2D buildings, presentations on a paper. We have a lesson designing technology, so we show them how to design things on paper. And we found this software very, very useful for us and for our students to learn how to create models in 3D. So we asked them to do something to design the house of the future for Cyprus, where it's very hot in the summer. So they had to basically design a house to be energy efficient, to support noise level reduction, because we are very noisy in Cyprus. We drive cars around roads, it's very noisy, and to enhance the aesthetics of the home. So our students worked and they produced some models, which just brings this one. Only the exterior. We haven't done anything about the interior of the house, but for sure you will notice what the students would like to have in their house. They would like to have a swimming pool. The swimming pool is very important because it's very hot in the summer. So they managed to build a swimming pool. So this is
a beautiful car.
Yeah, and a beautiful car. Swimming pool, some umbrella, some tables, and the pool. But of course, the car must park inside the house, because the winter, when it's raining, you park inside the house, you go into the house. So that was it. That was very good for us because they managed to do something, at least.